John Carpenter's Suburban Screams premiered October 13th, 2023 on Peacock, and it is a original Peacock series. The show tells the story of 6 different episodes where it's the true story of real encounters with kind of actual events that occurred. We have the reenactments, and then we have actors portraying in those reenactments of the true story that take place. It's like unsolved mysteries, and it's about actual slashers, demons, ghosts, paranormal, and each episode runs between 40 to 50 minutes long. Some of the episodes are good, some of the episodes are not good at all. The first episode is titled Kelly, which tells the story of a guy named Dan who kind of uses a Ouija board and somehow calls upon a woman who was murdered named Kelly. The events of how certain things happen in these episodes is more so we see how it happened, what's happening, the person going through the events, and at the end we might have some resolve or, kind of ending where, oh, everything's happening and everything's good. When other episodes were just like, it's open ended, we don't know what's going to happen. After episode 1, the next episode is A Killer Comes Home. For me, this was mostly the toughest episode to get through, especially for the subject matter, where an elusive killer who goes on a murdering spree in his hometown is recounted by the local editor, newspaper editor, and publisher who became targets after covering the story. Really intricate, really different. The design and feel and look of these episodes is good. It was also shot during the pandemic, so some post-production aspect of scenes look CGI, not real. They felt forced, doesn't feel, there. Practical effects are prominent as well, and it just feels like it was rushed too soon or just not put together cohesively. Episode 3 is House Next Door, and basically the aspect of these episodes is, it's suburban areas. What are your neighbors doing? What's happening? And can you actually trust your neighbor? And what are they doing behind their own closed doors when you think everything is pretty and pristine? House Next Door is a teenage boy falls in love with a new girl in town but suspects that her house is haunted. And that was an interesting episode, really, really different and straightforward. The acting in these episodes and in this one were okay. Wasn't believable. The certain prospects and aspects of how certain things worked felt forced, didn't feel believable at all. Episode 4 is Bunny Man. Yeah, Bunny Man, which was really different, eccentric, and it could have been a standalone movie on its own, and I feel like it is. And some of these episodes in this series felt like it was a true story, but then also could have been exaggerated just for TV series purposes. Not bashing anything or anybody wrote or produced or directed for that matter, but it's basically residents in a Virginia neighborhood are terrified by an axe-wielding maniac in a rabbit suit. The intricate aspect of how this episode was shot was good. It was great. Had that Donnie Darko feel to it, if you know what I mean, with the bunny aspect. The ambiance, the hue, the lighting was good. It just has that territorial feel of this is creepy, this is insane, and this is really, really weird. The next episode, episode 5, is Cursed Neighborhood. Probably my favorite of the episodes in this series. It basically tells a story about a mother and daughter who recount their horror story of moving into their first home without knowing that the suburban land that they're on is cursed. The aspect of cursed land is synonymous with every folklore in town of anywhere possible in the world. You don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what home you're moving into. You don't know the ground or the hallowed ground that this home is built on, and it's cursed. Backstory is great, really go in depth, and I feel like this episode was the most complete episode of them all, and it really, really made sense, and it just felt really scary. The 4 previous episodes were kind of minute, but Cursed Neighborhood was really good because I enjoy that kind of cursed ghost paranormal story. That's the land, what's the history, what's the backstory, and for all of that. And the final one, episode 6, Phone Stalker, is basically tells the accounts and retelling of a woman who is horrific threats and stalked by a shrouded genius, tech genius, and it's kind of how she becomes a living nightmare through certain relationships, for that matter. This episode is synonymous because people are like, oh, it's John Carpenter's Suburban Screams. He directed every episode. He directed this episode only, I believe. They really don't say who directed what or how it plays on in and who wrote certain things, but it's just really, really fun. This was an okay episode, I want to say. The stalking aspect was there, the fright was there, and seeing how the ambiance was there was really, really good. This entire series was fun, but not what I thought it would be. It's definitely unsolved mysteries, but it could have been a little bit better. Like I said, some episodes are, at the end we know what happened, and then some of it's like, okay, what's going to happen now? My favorite episode is Cursed Neighborhood. Absolutely loved it. My least favorite, because it was kind of hard to get through, just based on the subject matter, was episode 2. Episode 1 was not too bad, but each episode you'll enjoy on its own, the way it's told in different stories and different aspects through the people telling it. And it's like, wow, they actually went through all of this on their own accord. And it's really, really crazy how everything went into it. Great idea for a concept, for a show. This is season 1. Will it get picked up for a second season? Maybe. If this didn't have John Carpenter's name in front of it and was just called Suburban Screams, I would have thought this would be a normal MTV show created by a young adult for a YA novel or something like that. But the reason it was, and I watched it, is because John Carpenter's name was attached to it. If you have a director, you have a producer whose name is synonymous in the industry of filmmaking and Hollywood, and you're going to watch it. And this is the reason I watch Suburban Screams. It's because it's John Carpenter's Suburban Screams. If his name wasn't on it, I would care or give two shits about this series at all. It's horror. It's feels a thriller. It's crazy. It's interesting. It's good, but it could have been a little bit better. The delivery was okay, but the execution just failed a little bit. Certain episodes are good. Certain episodes are not good. But John Carpenter's episode that he directed, you can see it had a John Carpenter feel to it with the cinematic style of filmmaking, and even the music is 100% John Carpenter. Just the way the aesthetic is and how everything flows together with everything, it's fun and it's good. John Carpenter's Suburban Screams, for me, gets 2.5 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about John Carpenter's Suburban Screams. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of each story? Did you like each episode? Which was your favorite episode? Which was your least favorite episode? And did you like the ambiance, the look, the feel? Do you think that some of these stories were made up, exaggerated, or they actually true stories just to get you to watch it and see what happened to them in the end? And would you have watched this show if John Carpenter's name wasn't attached? And did you watch this series because his name was attached to it? And do you want to see a second season of John Carpenter's Suburban Screams? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I'm Mr. Filmstock, and thank you so much for tuning into my review of John Carpenter's Suburban Screams. I'll see you all in the next review video.